Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so I just got back on this side of town. Had a great time with my family. We made very good time this morning, even though it was raining pretty bad when we left Fresno. Got a chance to eat breakfast at IHOP, even though I literally can't eat too much at IHOP. I had to buy like some sides, basically. Didn't really give myself a whole lot of food to eat. It was just like some turkey bacon and some potatoes. That's like all I could eat, literally, on their menu. Which is strange because I grew up eating IHOP, but like if you can't eat eggs and you can't drink milk, then breakfast is pretty much out. American breakfast is just like, I'm essentially allergic to American breakfast. That's basically just the moral of the story. All things require either eggs, butter, milk, all of that. I can't have none of that crap anymore, so it's over. You know, we went to In-N-Out, couldn't eat that. Not that I want to, because you guys know how I get down in regards to Israel and the nonsense, but they went to In-N-Out and grabbed some shakes and stuff. I can't have no shakes. Some cocoa, hot cocoa, I can't have none of that. And the bread has egg in it, so it's like I can't eat that stuff at all. So yeah, man, I'm kind of hungry right now. Came in the house, immediately threw in some food, and then realized I didn't have everything I needed. So now I'm right back out the door, headed to Target. But it was a good trip, man. It was a really good trip. Yesterday I was enjoying the repast, only but so much because I was having a lot of stomach issues. You know, making a mistake of eating that cookie has milk in it, and egg in it, and that was horrible for me the next day. Horrible. Um, Throughout the course of the funeral, I was fine, but once we got to the process of coming back from the cemetery, my stomach was going crazy, and they were trying to go to the food place, Golden Corral, and I was having real stomach issues. So it was like, man, this is not working out, man. But you know, we ended up going to the Golden Corral, and I was able to kind of settle myself a little bit and eat something. The food was pretty good, pretty good. The only thing I had a problem with is I asked the man for a well done steak, and he gave me like a medium rare steak. So when I start cutting into it, it was all this red. I'm like, this is not how I eat. I respect that y'all think that's the only way to eat meat, but I'm from the school of cook my food. cook my meat. Like literally, that's how I feel. Cook my meat. I understand, oh, but it's supposed to taste so tender. It's red, fam. It's not cooked. Y'all like raw food. That's your business, but don't put that on my plate. That's how I feel. It's a safety issue, man. Tapeworms and all different types of stuff. You know, salmonella. No, I don't play like that. If I'm gonna eat red meat, cook it. And don't give me nothing about tender and all that. I don't care about all that, man. Just cook the damn meat. Throw some A1 sauce on it. I love it that way. That's all I need. So, well done at all times, man. That's how I move. It's the only way I really like to eat it. So half of that stuff stayed on the plate. But everything tastes good. I was able to find a bunch of stuff I wasn't allergic to. So that was really cool with the Golden Corral. Great company, great family. I was getting to a point where I was ready to go because I had the Laker game to cover, and you know, my uncle was enjoying his cousins and stuff, so it was a little, it got to a point where I was ready to kind of do my own thing, but couldn't because I didn't have my vehicle. You know, I wasn't rolling by myself. So as a nomad and a deep introvert, it got to a point where I was very awkward, but it wasn't because the company wasn't good. It was just because my social battery ran out, if I'm being completely honest with you. And it's funny because you guys see me talking on this camera, you may think I'm an extremely social person, but no, this isn't social. This is an introverted process, and I think a lot of people may not realize that. Holding a camera in your face while you're walking down the street by yourself and communicating is an introverted action. It doesn't require I have to you know, interact with anybody. I'm interacting with a phone to let my brain run. So for me, this is not how I'm going to act if I'm around you, more or less. I'm not going to talk like this. That's just not my natural way. And it gets to a point where it's like when you're around a lot of extroverts and they're all interacting, they're all having a good time, and you don't really know anybody that well, it gets to a point where it becomes very uncomfortable for minds like mine. And that's exactly what it was. It was like, all right, bro, I'm moving outside. I'm going outside. I'm going to take a breather. I'm going to the bathroom like a bunch of times just to get away from all of this. And so I don't think I was much fun after a while. I had good interactions, but I'm not I'm not the, hey, let's talk in the crowd. In a group, it's like 30 of them. All of them are cousins with one another. And I'm the guy that's not related to nobody by blood. It's like, I love all of y'all and I enjoy all of y'all. This is not my way. I'm more comfortable in one-on-one settings, talking to people. If it's just me and you talking, I'm probably going to be a lot more comfortable than if it's me, you, Sarah, Matthew, Jonah, all these people. Like, I'm not going to have as much fun in group setting situations. I don't know what it is. I don't interact as well in those. But if it's just me and you talking, I'm probably going to be fine. That's just one of my weird little quirks. But yeah, I hadn't felt that way in a very long time, to where I just got so exhausted that I started acting weird. Like, straight up mentally exhausted from just the socialness of it all, and standing in a circle and everybody's communicating. This is not how I live my life in any way at this point. And I've been like this for a very extended period of time. Before that, it was isolation. So when do I ever find myself in them situations? I don't, unless it's my very good friends. Like when I went to Thanksgiving, I don't have the problems with my buddies. Those people know me very well, and so that makes for less frustration. That's never going to be the situation when I'm around my boys. But people I don't know, I can like you a lot and still want to probably get away after a while. Which is not. It's a mental trait, So the more I come to understand this, the more I respect it and just remove myself. You know what I mean? Once it gets to a point where I'm like, I'm done. And what I come to find out is that some of my family, my dad's side, my mother's side, her father's side, they like that too. I believe my Uncle Merle is like that too. When I was around him, he's more introverted than me. And see, the thing about it is my grandfather, who we just buried, his family's very small. So the majority of people who were at the funeral were his wife's family. And of course, my uncle, his mom, he's one of their family members. So it was almost catered to their side of the family, which is it could be a wonderful thing. But, that his own blood weren't really represented in the funeral, to be honest with you. And I love the Wallers. I had a wonderful time with the Wallers. But it was like maybe like a few people there that represented my grandfather's blood that wasn't related to the Wallers, because he doesn't have a big family. Everybody's gone. It was not too many people to begin with, and most of us passed away. So it was really cool meeting my Uncle Merle's daughter, because if I'm not mistaken, if she doesn't have any brothers or sisters, we're the last ones. It's me and her. That's it. And so that was awesome, being able to sit down and talk to Camille. Look forward to getting to know her a little better. I didn't know her at all. This is the first time I met her. But that's my Uncle Merle's daughter. I think my grandfather has another sister named Donna. I don't know who that lady is. She definitely wasn't there yesterday. I ain't never met her. I don't know if she got any kids. I have no idea who she is. I just know that she was on the obituary as Donna. Who knows who that person is, y'all? So it's like, he didn't have a big family. He had his wife's family, and they have a big family. So it was like, the whole thing was basically about their point of view on things, and I just kind of had to go along with the ride, because I don't know my grandfather like that, you know what I mean? They knew him better than I did, so who am I to say, hey, yo, what about me? What about me? Like, literally. Yeah, I'm his only grandson, but I think that's the point. They don't know me. So it was what it was, you know what I mean? That's what it really comes down to. I think I came to understand that I buried a stranger yesterday, if I'm being honest with you. He was my grandfather, and I had a relationship with him as it pertains to the image I saw of him, and talking to him and getting to know him as an older person, and loved who I knew, But once I started seeing pictures of who he was as a man, and when he was younger, like when he was my age now, and who he became several years after that, I was like, who is this? Like, my uncle had shown me a collage of the photos that represented my grandfather's life, and I had never seen him in that light. There was one picture where he was dressed up like he came out of Miami Vice. I'm like, who the hell is this? He looked like Don Johnson or something. I'm like, bro, I ain't never seen my grandfather look like this. This is who that was? I had one of those type of eureka moments last night where I had never seen my grandfather in a specific light. You know, while I was at the funeral, they never gave me an opportunity to speak. And I didn't have a real problem with it. But my thing was, I thought I had something really credible to say about my grandfather. And if they would have given me an opportunity, I think it would have been something that I think people would have appreciated. But I never got that opportunity. I didn't think too much of it until I saw the collage of those pictures and realized I didn't know this guy. Whatever I was going to say didn't represent the person that was in them pictures. And so when you start, and I can't speak for nobody else because I don't know who relates to this and who doesn't, but when you start realizing you don't know a person, but you thought you knew them as it pertains to the few times that you saw them and then the consistencies that came with that person, that image that you saw, then you might walk away with the misunderstanding that you think you know who that is. And when you start being around people who actually knew them, then you start hearing stories about that person. You're like, oh dang, I didn't know that side of that person. But for me, when you start seeing pictures of them during that era, when they were dealing with a different aspect of their living or who they were represented in their style and stuff like that, it's like, who the hell is that? Like, that's not the energy that exuded from my grandfather. Not the version of him that was always around me. The few times he was able to come in town, and I didn't know that dude. And so for me, it's like, well, if I would have met the version of the person that I see in these pictures, my energy toward that human being would be totally different than the energy I had toward my grandfather. And that's really what it came down to. I did not know him. And I didn't know him until I saw him in those pictures. I was like, oh, so this is who that guy is. Oh, man, this is a different person. It's a different person. Like, literally, than what I have in my head and who I was ready to speak about at the funeral. The person that I was ready to speak about had an entirely different vibe than the person that was putting out what it was in those pictures. So for me, it's just like, yo, man, the irony of it all is I look so much like him. And I think, and I said this once before in regards to my grandmother, I think people think that I probably carry some of the traits of the person in that picture that I do not know, that I don't know about. So it's almost like they treat me like I'm about to do something that he did. Like, I don't even know who he is. And so I had a real tough moment with that last night. I didn't make a video on it, but that's what was going through my head in the entire second half of the basketball game I was trying to watch as I was eating my pomegranate. I wasn't thinking about the Lakers at all. I was thinking about, man, I didn't know. It was awesome seeing those pictures. I think that person was extremely cool. That person was swagged out. That person had a lot of suave. That person was like cool, you know what I'm saying? Not just regular cool, but like literally the coolest person in the room. The swag drip off of him like crazy. That's who my grandfather actually was. And so I look at my mother and I understand her to be when she was young, and I'm like, I see where you get it from. I didn't know where you got that from until I started seeing pictures of my grandfather back in the 70s and back in the early 80s. I'm like, yo, what? That's who that is? That's a ladies' man, yo. That's a dude. That's a dude out of Miami Vice. Like, literally. That's a dude who spent a lot of his time on vacation, enjoying the good life. I don't know this person. That ain't the grandpa I knew. The grandpa I knew was a staunch individual, the military man, scholar from universities and stuff like that. Man, this ain't who that was. That's not the vibes dripping out of them pictures. And so I'm in a weird space right now where you come to realize you didn't know the person you've lost, or you didn't know the side of them that probably best represented who they are and best helps you understand your mother some, maybe even some of your own traits that you have, some of the stuff that comes naturally to you, and you don't know where you get it from. Now you realize this is who had it. This is where you get it from. That's where exactly what's going on there. I ain't nowhere near as cool as he was, but some of my vibes, some of the things that I think are most cool about me, I can see where I get it from. And so, you know, it's just, man, I'm just in a weird lost space, man. If you're a person who doesn't know of your family, just know that I've gotten a taste of understanding it. I awakened to the understanding I didn't know these people. They don't know me. And that means something different than what I thought it did. And it's not a bad thing. It's not bad energy that I got. It's not like I'm disappointed in what I found. It's just that you come to understand that the image you have in your head of the people you think you know ain't the image of who it is that best represents who it is they are. And when you come to understand that, you can change your outlook on yourself as it pertains to coming from those people. Not outlook, but just your image, because you get a better understanding of who you are. So for those who don't know their mom or their dad, or they don't know their family, or maybe their grandfather passed away before they had a chance to meet that person, or whatever, just know I'm relating to some of that right now in a different kind of way. But or maybe you have a family member that was living a secret life or something. Like I'm going to do something like that in a different kind of way, man. So yeah, I just want people to know that I feel for those who don't know their people or don't know themselves, or whatever the case may be, man. You can get a lot of information about traits of yourself when you start understanding the people that you come from and the traits that they have, because I think a lot of those things are passed down through DNA. So yeah, man, got a lot to say, but I'm where I need to be, so I guess I'll make a video when I come out of here. But I appreciate everybody's prayers. BDL44, thank y'all for watching. I'm out.